So Gamescom just happened, and Final Fantasy VII Revelation was there with a brand new trailer. This one focused entirely around the weapons and how they inhabit the planet. And there might be some things that you might have missed. I decided to jump in, check it out, and give some thoughts and opinions on where we're at and where this game might be going in the future. Check it out.
Now I'm happy to welcome to the O&L stage a man who closed out Summer Game Fest with an epic reveal. Please join me in welcoming to the stage my good friend, the Final Fantasy VII Remake Series Director, Naoki Hamaguchi.
Man, Hamaguchi's been everywhere. He's been promoting this game like crazy. That looks so fucking cool. Like, real talk. Absolute legend. I'm so excited for this. We've been playing Remake on stream. Well, we just finished Remake. We're up to the DLC.
Hello everyone. My name is Naoki Hamaguchi, and I'm the director of Final Fantasy VII Revolution.
My name is Absolute Legend.
Thank you. In this brand new exclusive trailer, so-called weapons, massive creatures, Cloud, and his team of legendary heroes will face in the final chapter of their epic journey. Final Fantasy VII Revolution will deliver an unforgettable experience in a world without boundaries.
I have one wish for this game.
Available.
One wish. Spring 2027. It's so close. So close yet so far.
Thank you so much
Got
for
so much
all
to cover.
your support and excitement.
Let's just try and dissect a little bit here, because I find personally that when I watch things, I get overstimulated and then I can't comment in real time. So we saw a lot. We saw a lot. I'm going to move my camera over here because we'll see what pops up on the left-hand side shortly.
My fellow citizens,
Rufus
we
doing his
are
best,
assailed
my
on
fellow
every
Americans.
side by the enormous meteor that looms over our heads, and by towering monstrosities termed weapons, like the one that made landfall outside Midgar. But I know.
So what is interesting? What is interesting is they've got these little tiny weapons that are obviously in the overworld as well, which I don't think there ever was that in the original 7. These
and show heaven and earth that it is we who reign supreme.
Squad. By the way, I'm drawing this. That is such like a perfect cross section of like the rule of thirds. You got Tifa on this third, her hair flows into the bottom. Oh, it's just perfect.
You said weapons are guardians of the planet, right? The planet sees us as another threat to her well-being.
I mean, that's not entirely
so.
You call them planetary warriors.
This is very like Borderlands-esque, these splash screens. I'm very interested to see how these play out though, right? Because obviously the whole thing about, and the whole difficulty curve of the weapons in the original Final Fantasy VII is that because it's like ATB system, you can't move. So these guys dish out massive amounts of damage, and if you are underprepared, you will die. Whereas in this game, because you have the freedom to move around and dodge attacks, I wonder if you're going to be able to do like low-level runs of these weapons. It's going to be pretty cool to see what people come up with.
But I call them weapons of mass destruction.
Especially Emerald Weapon.
Only one thing to do. We fight.
So it seems as though even with Tifa's like black mage garb, it seems as though she still has the fighting properties of a monk. Whether or not it probably just scales off her magic stat, and whether she'll be able to have more enhanced magical skills through materia. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how it all works. But back here, like, it looked like she was very much just still punching shit. She was very floaty though in her attacks. Like, she looks very floaty.
Only one thing to do. We fight.
So very floaty. Then shoots out some magic. Oh, that was summon. That was a summon. So she summoned Typhon. Interesting. Very interesting. Wutai looks
down
sick.
Weapons, hunting materia. Way overdue for a day off.
Once we've got a future to fight for, nothing will stop us.
Once we have a future to fight for, nothing will stop us. I mean, haven't they been fighting for their future the whole time? They're very deliberately not showing the important shit, and rightfully so. Like, no one wants to see the important conclusions. I think we're all just very excited to see how this game's going to wrap up and see what they actually ended up cooking. And I think anticipating the finality of the remake series is killing everybody. We're all super excited, right? I'm excited to see Sid take over the squad
together.
I want to see more. I want more. No, I think this is going to be very, very, very good. Everybody's been asking about the weapons. I would have liked to have probably seen maybe like a snippet of gameplay against the weapons, but I could probably understand why they didn't do it.
You call them planetary warriors.
Because like I said, you're gonna be able to dodge attacks. Everything's gonna be happening in real time. So unless, well, actually no, not even unless. Like I'm very curious to see if we're gonna be able to do like low level runs against these guys. And these guys on hard mode is going to be absolutely ridiculous. They're going to be so strong, and it's going to be an absolute nightmare to probably 100% this game. I hope it's not as expansive as Rebirth. As much as I loved playing through Rebirth, I originally set out wanting to 100% Rebirth, but then I heard that it takes anywhere from like 120 hours minimum to 200 hours. And I was like, ooh, that is... that is quite a lot of time. So I will probably chip away at that in my own time. But we just finished restreaming Remake, playing through that. We gave a lot of opinions. There's a lot of that I missed in my initial playthrough. We're going to move on to the DLC, which has got Yuffie at the forefront. I haven't actually played that. And then we're going to play Crisis Core, Rebirth, and then Revelation. Hopefully by the time it comes out, we're going to be fighting these absolute monsters.
Way overdue for a day off.
So that, hang on. Actually, I missed that initially. Holy shit. Hang on. So that is showing, so we're in the sub here. We're underground, or underwater, obviously. That's the sub, and that's Emerald Weapon. So Emerald Weapon's literally going to be, you know, underwater again, just roaming around, which is crazy. In the OG, if you didn't know, which I didn't know when I played through originally, I think it's a canon event when you play Final Fantasy VII for the first time and you don't know what this is. It's a little bit different now because it's been however long, but when you play Final Fantasy VII for the first time and you don't know what Emerald Weapon is, you get to this part of the game where you're underwater and you just see this green thing roaming around and you go, oh, what's that? That looks cool. I might touch it. And then before you know it, you're dead. And you hoped you saved. It's cool that they did show this. I missed this on the watch through. So it is actually reassuring to know that these are wandering around. But as for fighting it, I wonder whether or not this comes up on land at some point, because obviously you can't fight it in the submarine.
Once we've got a future to fight for, nothing will stop.
Well, that was a cutscene and we're firing missiles at it. So I wonder if that's linked into the story. Maybe that's linked into the story now. So we're very much firing missiles at it, or whether or not... So whether or not maybe you interact with it by touching it, it plays the cutscene and then it surfaces, I don't know. But it'd be very hard to fight this thing underwater.
Ready? Aim! Fire!
And then we're back.
We'll finish this together.
And then we're back. I said at the start of this video that I had hopes for this game, and one of my biggest hopes for this game is when it comes to playing as a party, playing with only 3 characters at a time is crushing. It is crushing. I don't know how they would do it, and it's probably a really big like pie in the sky kind of hopeful wish that there was like a swap in, swap out system while you're actually playing the game. So in the menu, maybe like if you're on a character or a specific character, you press L2 or R2, it can swap between characters. It's got another option for party. And then you click on it, and then you can swap between party members in real time. And then that way you can use everybody in battle. I reckon that would be freaking cool as heck to have that. Because I love playing as Tifa. Tifa's my favorite Final Fantasy VII character, followed by Cloud and Aerith. And then, you know, but the margin between all the characters is so minuscule. I love the whole cast, right? I want to use Barret in real time. I want to use Sid. I want to use Vincent. I want to use Red. Like, I want to use them all, but you only have 3 slots to use them, right? And it's like, how can... Intrinsically to me, I want to play as Tifa. I want to play as Cloud, right? We haven't seen anything of Aerith, and we don't know what's happening there, but if it's to follow the original Final Fantasy VII, then Aerith's off the table and can't play as her anymore. So, you know, Barret will probably take that spot in my team, but then it's like, I've got Tifa, Cloud, Barret, but I really want to play as Sid because I really love Sid. I love Dragoons across the entire Final Fantasy series. I main Dragoon in Final Fantasy 14. My introduction to Dragoons was Final Fantasy 3 and the whole jump mechanic in that game, and Kain. Like, I just, as an aesthetic, I love Dragoons. I know Sid isn't technically a Dragoon, but he has the playstyle of one. So I want to add him into the team, but it's like, who am I giving up? Who am I giving up on that team to use Sid, right? So I really wish that there was a way to have just a little menu on the sidebar that when you're on a character, similar to Pokemon, you know how you can switch out your Pokemon mid-battle and you do that kind of stuff? Like, it would be sick if they had a little party menu. Even in Final Fantasy X. You know, in Final Fantasy X, when you have all your characters on, well, you got your 3 characters on screen, but then mid-battle you can switch them out for another character. I reckon that would be freaking sick. Imagine the depth of combat that you could have, where you could set up team combos based on who's in and who's not. I reckon that would be really, really cool. Anyway, I am super excited about Revelation. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like the remake series. I am very much of like, give me more Final Fantasy any way that I can get it. I personally believe that there's going to be a new synthesis ending. I don't think it's going to follow the exact ending of the original Final Fantasy VII. I personally think that they're going to try and loop in all the lore from Final Fantasy VII universe, Advent Children, Dirge of Cerberus, the main story, because there are things in this game, like particularly in Remake, and having played through Remake again, there are things that Aerith alludes to that she has higher knowledge about this whole universe, right? It seems as though the Remake games are aware that the original Final Fantasy VII storyline exists. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how it all ends up, without delving too much into detail. I just want to see Aerith, man. I know they're deliberately holding out on showing Aerith and Zack, and because I feel like the plot twist is going to be involving them. Aerith, Zack, Sephiroth. They're all sort of higher beings in this remake project. Because technically Zack shouldn't exist, right? And the whole bait and switch with Aerith in Rebirth really kind of left people on either side of the fence. Some people liked it, some people didn't. My initial reaction was pure shock value, that they were bold enough to try and bait and switch people. I think in the moment I was like, holy shit, let's effing go. But as it's kind of sat with me a little bit more, I really don't like how they handled it. I think at that point I hadn't played the original Final Fantasy VII, and seeing how it was handled in the original Final Fantasy VII, it had so much more weight in the original. Playing Aerith's theme after it all happened, and just having you sit in that moment for so long. But I can kind of understand why they did it the way they did it in Rebirth, right? They wanted to show the possibility of multiple worlds and the outcomes of multiple worlds, like that scenario in multiple worlds. You know what I mean? Where they had the flowing rainbow background to insinuate that this is another world, right? There is another timeline where Aerith lives here, right? So how they're gonna wrap it all up, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm very, very, very intrigued, and I cannot lie that they have done such a good job of keeping us all intrigued for so long. I think whether you like the remake project or you don't, you're gonna want to see how it ends. So very, very excited. We're gonna be playing through the rest of Remake, which is the DLC. Then we're gonna do Crisis Core on stream. And then we're probably going to do Rebirth as well. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll be streaming on Twitch and YouTube for these games. And we're going to kick this off. And then the lead up to Revelation is going to be absolutely massive. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Did you like the trailer? Do you want to see more? What are your thoughts? How do you think this is all going to wrap up? We got a lot to do and a lot to cover. And I want to see you there. See you around, guys.